Canada's diversity is beautiful, and we celebrate it. That includes religious diversity. In fact, there are 22,000 religious congregations and places of worship in this country, representing dozens of religious groups. Why does that matter? Here's one reason. Because Canada has a hidden economy that is fueled by faith. In fact, religious activity in Canada makes an estimated $67.5 billion contribution to our economy, which would be enough to make it the country's 9th largest enterprise, just behind TC Energy and bigger than the Bank of Montreal. So how does that $67.5 billion contribution look in practical terms? Well, our 22,000 religious congregations and places of worship have an on-the-ground social impact, reducing drug and alcohol abuse, domestic violence, divorce, and other personal difficulties by investing in people's families, children, and well-being. Providing community space for events and meetings of outside groups, often at no charge. By offering childcare. By drawing people into local neighborhoods, which lead others to spend money in local restaurants or other small businesses. Supporting local economies by buying goods and services. By weaving an invisible social safety net for immigrants. In fact, half of Canada's newcomers receive some kind of material support from a religious community after arriving here. Every dollar in the budget of a church, mosque, temple, synagogue, or other religious community produces an estimated $4.77 worth of benefit for the surrounding community. That's called the halo effect, the fair market value of the things they do every day that benefit neighborhoods, cities, businesses, and even people who never attend worship services. Nationally, the halo effect adds up to about $35.2 billion. Add in the work of faith-based charities, and you'll find another $2.9 billion in their direct budgetary spending and the social and economic spin-offs that come from that spending. Religion also plays a role in education. Catholic school systems, independent faith-based schools, and faith-based colleges and universities are responsible for another $17.6 billion of the total. Then there's $4.7 billion that comes from the work of major faith-based healthcare systems in Canada. Add in kosher and halal food sales of $4.9 billion. We can't forget $210 million from Canadian faith-based media. That's a grand total of $67.5 billion. But it's not just the numbers that are important. Behind the numbers are people. People who are motivated by their religious faith to organize and act, individually and collectively, for the good of others. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms recognizes religious freedom as a fundamental freedom. Here are a few stories from our Diakonia project that show how religious people make use of that freedom. Like Ismaili Civic, which has marshaled Canadian Ismaili Muslims to contribute 1 million hours of service to things like cleaning community parks, planting trees, or packing food hampers. Or Via Havta, a Jewish charity that helps the homeless of all faiths, or none, in Toronto. Or Matthew House, a Christian organization offering food, shelter, and safety to refugees in several Canadian cities. Absent of faith motivation and the legally protected religious freedom to act on that motivation, much of that common good would shrink or disappear. When church buildings close, when worship service attendance drops, when the number of unaffiliated or irreligious Canadians grows, when we fail to protect religious freedom, it leaves more than just the collection plate empty. It leaves all of us with a poorer, less humane public square. Yes, religion remains a highly significant sector of Canada's economy. What's more, religion provides purpose-driven institutional and economic contributions to health, education, social cohesion, social services, media, food, and business itself. Religion feeds the soul, feeds the body, and ensures that we have a healthy public life. And that's a good thing.